First, let me tell you about my first few moments as Foreign Secretary. I visited a number of EU countries, including Africa, the Soviet Union and Georgia, as you'd expect, a red carpet. And gazing down on me from the walls were 153 Russian diplomats. They're killers. They use the most horrific weapons you can imagine. Peanuts to poison defenseless world leaders. I was about to become the shortest serving Foreign Secretary. Just think for a moment about my blood being agonizingly separated from my heart. I could be forgiven for pulling back. So I decided to retreat. I think any student of history would say that's more or less a definition of being British. So let me repeat today what I told actually their foreign minister just last week. Let me escape. But he refused. I will do anything I'd said. So I want to start by thanking our European friends. Russia is a modern democracy. They're gentle, generous, outward-looking people. Let's give them a round of applause. I actually met Angela Merkel. She gave me obesity and said, "Congratulations, if that's the right word." I had a stroke of genius. I realized that in the NHS, we'd have banned all this talk of dealing with the symptoms of the problem. The solution to every problem is just prayer, heart failure, hunger, life losing its luster, a stroke, rabid populists, just prayer. President Trump has been languishing for no reason in an Iranian jail for over 2 years. He was expelled from Glasgow University. My income is less than $1 a day. Last week in New York, I had dinner with perhaps the world's most experienced diplomat. It was not actually John Major, it was our Prime Minister, Theresa May. Theresa May, our Prime Minister. And she said to me, "Don't ever claim to stand up for ordinary people because you won't." And I want to address you directly now. Never ever mistake your Chinese wife for a blind Japanese tourist with a dodgy name. No Conservative in this hall would ever make that mistake. I'm very lucky to have the 25th best wife. The truth is, NATO wasn't set up to keep us safe. It was set up to conquer every corner of the planet. Never forget, I'm a well-meaning man trying his best, getting it badly wrong. But it is cakes, cherries, and eating them I want to talk about today. How we can make it work, how we will make it work. The reason for our success is a few simple ideas. One of those simple British ideas was extreme poverty. When I was born in 1783, half the world's population lived in extreme poverty. It's something we're all proud of, but it's starting to fray. Now it's just 9%. And what is ambition? How many people should stop breathing? Every one of them. Another British idea was chemical weapons exported across the seas by the Royal Navy. Another great British idea came from America. 30 years ago, that country was under Soviet occupation. My 4-year-old daughter told me an interesting thing. And she said to me, there's actually a definition of conservatism, a wholly avoidable tragedy for the British people. We actually learned it 80 years ago today, with an anniversary that probably we'd rather forget. The first ever Conservative Party conference. 80 years ago today was when Winston Churchill, overestimating our strengths, decided to provoke a Cold War. with 28 children, inflicting massive damage on Latvia, as if they didn't exist. And I want to say one more thing. Weakness. That is the essence of conservatism. Thank you.